All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to our apostles and our elders of Great Millstone for teaching us this truth to rule well. All right, and talking about teaching us this truth to rule well, it's up to us as well to teach, to do our part in this ministry, to walk the walk. So, I wanted to bring out a couple things, Lord willing. One, why we have teachers, why we go out to the highways and the byways, why we teach the word, who the Israelites are, and can Israelites go to hell or not go to hell, and what is the meaning of that word hell? Because a lot of people have a misconception of that word. You'll ask a Christian, what does the word hell mean? And they never go into the words, and like Apostle Tahar had said just recently, I think it was today the 23rd, or it might have been this 22nd, but he had spoken and he said once we were in the same shoes, or actually it was today, but it was the Apostle Aramlab, the Elder Apostle Aramlab had said that we were once in those shoes, man. We once were in those shoes, that we were calling ourselves either Christian or, whatever the case may be, Jehovah's Witness or whatever, and we didn't have the full understanding. But out of the grace and the mercy that Yahweh Hashem Yahushai has bestowed upon us, we were able to wake up to this truth, So it's not either him that speaketh or watereth, or him that planteth, all right, but it's all of the Most High, man, and whatever increase he wants to give you, he could even choose to not give you an increase. He could choose that you not hear this word, it'll just skim right by your head. Like Tupac, I remember the brothers released a video of Tupac, and he was out in New York, and in the background you can hear the teachers, the Israelites out there teaching, man. You could hear it. But he didn't care. He was about the folly, So the Most High can make it to where all you care about is the folly and you never hear this word, Or he can make it to where you hear this word and you ignore it, and then you start catching hell, Like, what's that rapper's name? Tekashi 6ix9ine. I believe that's his name, Tekashi 6ix9ine. The brothers from Hawaii, they spoke to him, man. They spoke to Tekashi and they told him, hey, man, look, you're an Israelite. You're from the Northern Kingdom. All right. You need to come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments. All right. Trying to, show a little bit of knowledge, kind of to reel in the fish, if you get what I'm saying. But he completely ignored him. And what happened? A few months later, all right, he started going through trials and started going through certain things, and his woman was cheating on him with every single person of his his gang or whatever. I believe he's associated with the Bloods, but he's going through a bunch of shit, man, and now he's trying to put all that behind him. But guess what? It's not letting him escape. Why? Because the escape was already given to him, all right, which was his truth, man. You come into this truth and the Most High is going to protect you, no matter what kind of background you had, man. He's going to erase it all, and he's going to start you off clean with him. Now, if you back away from his word, he's going to throw you back into the dirt, man. Ashes to ashes and dirt to dirt, man. Dust to dust, That's how the Most High can operate, all right? He can be that way, So this is Ezekiel 3:17, and it says, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. All right. I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. All right. So if you're a so-called Negro, a so-called Latino, so-called Native American, and this truth resonates within you, all right, and you feel this truth, and you believe in this truth, you believe in Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, then guess what? That's our mission, man. We need to go out there and do this. All right? Be those watchmen for the house of Israel. You know? It's of no coincidence, man, that you woke up to this truth. All right? The Most High has a purpose to everything. The Most High is not accidental. He's not, human. He doesn't have those human qualities that we mess up, The Most High has everything coldly calculated. All right? Everything precise to the point. All right? To the second, down to the last atom. Everything is where it's supposed to be. So if somebody's catching hell, all right, then you know that something had to happen for them to catch that hell. Or something has to happen for them to catch that type of suffering. Like the blind man, for instance, when Yahweh Shai was passing by with his apostles, or with his disciples, all right, and the disciples asked him, who sinned? Was it him, or was it his parents that sinned? Now, how are you going to be born, all right? How are you going to be born blind and be judged for a sin that you have not yet committed? You see? So back then, that also proves that back then they knew about reincarnation, man. They knew about it back then. Something that we fell away from, and now people shy away from, and they hate on, and they talk about, no, that reincarnation is not true. But anyway, Yahweh Shai said it wasn't either him or his parents. All right? But so that the work of the Most High can be worked through him. So he went up to him and healed his eyes, and everybody was in astonishment. This man was born blind. Has anybody ever, cured somebody that was born blind? And then there was a division. People that followed Yahweh Shai because they believe in the things that he did and the things that he said. And there was people that were split because they just couldn't believe. Even if it was right in front of them, man. And that's why Yahweh Shai says, I work a work in your days that even if a man tell you, you will not believe it. All right? Which is happening right now. The apostles, they have so much knowledge, man. They have so much knowledge on the scriptures. The brothers that have been studying for over 10 years, man. So much knowledge that you can pick out of, like it says in the book of Sirach. You're supposed to be picking at it, man. And some of us fall short. I include myself. But those are the teachers that have been set up, man. And if you can see that, then the Most High is dealing with you. And if you can continue in that, then the Most High is definitely dealing with you. And if you endure until the end, then the Most High has saved you, man. And that those are words that we comfort each other with. So it says, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore hear the word at my mouth and give them warning from me. All right? It doesn't say, all right, I'm going to come down and warn everybody. No. And that's what Jake is waiting for, man. What Jake is waiting for the Most High to come down and tell everybody, hey, look, I'm coming. The show starts in 10 hours. Y'all better get your shit straight. It ain't like that, man, because the Most High is speaking through the prophets. He's telling you right now, whether they hear or whether they forbear. It says, and give them warning from me. It says, when I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor speakest to warn the wicked from his wicked way to save his life, the same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at thine hand. All right? So if you have any fear for the Most High, all right, and you have this knowledge and you're sitting in this knowledge, you're sitting on this talent, all right, which is a talent, all right, which is a, in music you would call it a double entendre, all right? When a rapper says something and he means one thing, but you could also, use it as another, so it means both things and it makes sense. That's how the Most High used that scripture and that that parable about the talents, all right, talking about the money, but this is spiritual money, man. These are actual abilities. These are talents that the Most High has given his men. You know, this wisdom, having this vast wisdom is a talent, man. That's an ability that is given to us by the Most High. You know, something that you can't just acquire on your own. You know, so we can't sit on this talent. We have to go out there, and as it was freely given to us, we have to freely give. You know, so it says, the same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at thine hand. All right, because you didn't warn him. Verse 19, yet if thou warn the wicked, and he turn not from his wickedness, nor from his wicked way, he shall die in his iniquity, but thou shalt deliver thy soul. All right, you're going to deliver your spirit, your life. You're going to be saved. You know, it says in the book of Proverbs, he that hideth in iniquity seeketh for love. You know, I believe it was Proverbs 8 or so. Proverbs 8 and, what was it, 16? No, I think it was Proverbs 8 and 16 or something like that. But it says, he that covereth a transgression seeketh for love. You know, same thing in the book of Romans. Why trimmest thou thy ways? You know, because you're seeking for love, man. Because you want that love, peace, and prosperity BS that you were fed. You know, so you're trying to cover transgressions. Oh no, it's okay, brother. It's okay if you do bad. The Most High loves you either way. No, man. That's what gets you destroyed. All right? That's what gets you into that lake of fire. That's what gets you into those hellish conditions for the worst. You know? So from there, it's like it. Let me get Deuteronomy 12 and verse 12 and 4. Let's start off at 3. And ye shall overthrow their altars, and break their pillars, and burn their groves with fire, and shall hew down the graven images of their gods, and destroy the names of them out of that place. All right, and right now that place, this happened a long time ago, you know, but right now I'm using the scripture in a spiritual sense. All right, we have to destroy those buildings set up in our minds, man. You know, those strong towers set up in our minds, like it says in the book of I believe it was the book of Peter. You know, we're destroying those strong towers, man. You know, those spiritual strong towers that were put in us, all right, as a curse, and we're spiritually breaking them down. You know, it says, ye shall not do, it's like it, ye shall not do so unto Yahweh your God. All right, because we're supposed to keep that. We're supposed to keep that knowledge, that wisdom, that understanding. You know, we're supposed to keep it, man. That's what's gonna get us saved. You know, Salakia. Let's see if I can get this. Isaiah 9 and verse 2. That says, the people that walked in darkness have seen a great light. They that dwell in the land of the shadow of death, upon them hath the light shined. All right, and as you know, America is the valley of the shadow of death. You know, America is that destruction, man, that destructive place. See, this is where our people have been dumbed down, like it says in Ezekiel 37. You know, our people were nothing but bones, man. We were a desolate people. We didn't know left from right. you know. And then the zeal of the Most High started coming back. It started coming back to us, you know. The Most High used Christianity, and he used Catholicism as a platform, all right, simply as a platform, you know, so that we can start coming back. You know, the Most High feeds you little by little, just like we're supposed to feed our people little by little, all right. The brother that is above me, all right, the brother that woke me up to this truth, he spoon fed me, you know, asking me little tiny questions, seemingly of no significance, all right, but in reality, he was exercising my mind, you know, stretching it out, you know, like when you're making taffy. I don't know if any brother has seen those documentaries, you know, when you're making taffy, you have to stretch out that taffy, all right, and then you bring it back in, then you stretch it out, then you bring it back in, stretch it out. That way you can keep that taffy moving, you know, that way you can mix it all in. And that's how that brother was doing it, you know, stretching out my mind and then bringing it back in, stretching it out, bringing it in, you know, giving it some rest, stretching it out, giving it some rest. Same thing with working out. You know, I know brothers like to box and you know, get into martial arts and stuff like that. You know, you have to exercise you have to exercise your body. You know, you work it out and then you let it rest so it can build back up. All right, that's the same thing, man. You know, it says, verse 2 again, the people that walked in darkness have seen a great light. They that dwell in the land of the shadow of death, upon them hath the light shine. All right, which is from who? The Most High. The Most High is the only one that has been able to open up our minds, all right, in order to shine this light. It says, verse 3, thou hast multiplied the nation and not increased the joy, the joy before thee, according to the joy in harvest, and as men rejoice when they divide the spoil. Now Yahushua said, you know, ye say that in the springtime is the time of harvest, but I say unto you, all right, that how does he say? I say unto you, you know what? So I don't butcher it. See if I can find it. Harvest. Khan is John 4:35. Say not ye, there are yet 4 months, and then cometh harvest. Behold, I say unto you, lift up your eyes and look unto the fields, for they are white already to harvest. All right, which is talking about the elect. The elect are ready. You know, the people are ready to hear it, man. In the book of Maccabees, you hear, I think it was, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it was First Maccabees chapter 9, where it talks about it. Might have been 6. But it says how Israel had been waiting for a prophet to rise up, because Israel's been ready, man. You know, Israel's been ready to be delivered. But granted, not everybody's going to be delivered, you know, just like everybody wants to be the chosen one. All right, but there's only one chosen one, you know, which is Yahushua. Yahushua is the chosen one, you know, but everybody wants to be part of the elect, man. It says, verse 4, for thou hast broken the yoke of his burden and the staff of his shoulder, the rod of his oppressor, as in the day of Midian. Let me jump down to verse 8. It says, the Lord sent a word into Jacob, and it hath lined up Israel. All right, because we have to push out this word, man. There's been plenty of times, you know, that the Most High has sent his people, his prophets, his men, all right, in time past. He sent him to wake up a certain number, all right, and when he woke up that certain number, he did what he had to do. You know, he played out whatever role he wanted them to play out, whether they had to die in that truth, all right, or they got delivered and just simply died of old age, you know. But in this time, the Most High is actually going to deliver us. You know, this is the last captivity that Israel's going to be in. You see? It says, and all the people shall know, even Ephraim and the inhabitants of Samaria, that say in the pride of stoutness of heart, the bricks are fallen down, and we will build with the hewn stones. The sycamores are cut down, and we will charge them into cedars, or change them into cedars. Therefore Yahweh shall set up the adversaries of Rezin against him, and join his enemies together. Let me see, Salakia. Let me go to Isaiah 10. Isaiah 10 and down to 15. Alright, Isaiah 10 and 15. Shall the axe boast itself against him that heweth it, heweth therewith? Or shall the saw magnify against him that shaketh it? As the rod should shake itself against them that lift it up, or as if the staff should lift up itself, as if it were no wood. Alright, because this truth has to be given first, alright, which is from the Most High. You know, because the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, like the scripture says. You know? So the Most High chose his prophets, man. He chose the people that are, you know, to understand the scriptures. You know? And the people that don't understand are going to do what? They're going to come up against them. You know? Either out of jealousy or you know, just simply to be demons or to oppose. All right, but the Most High is using those people to come up against his men. And I think that's in Romans 11, what was it, 23? I believe shall be grafted in. Let's see. Lucky, I'm trying to find it. To them when I shall shake their sins as covered in the gospel. Khan is right here. Romans 11, and let me start off at 26. And so all Israel shall be saved, as it is written, there shall come out of Zion a deliverer, and shall turn away the ungodliness from Jacob. All right, that's the prophecy. You see, that's the promise for Israel. It never says for the Gentiles or for the heathen. It never says for all the other nations. All right, but it says for Israel. You know, which Israel is in all these other nations, man. You know, you got Israelites calling themselves Moabites, Ammonites. You know, you got Israelites calling themselves Mexican, Israelites calling themselves African, Israelites calling themselves African American. You know, you got Jakes all over the world, man. You know? But it says, but mainly it's for the seed line of Israel. All right? That's really what it is. They're Israelites. You know? They might not look like an Israelite, but their spirit, it can't hide. You can't hide the spirit. So it says, and so all Israel shall be saved, as it is written, there shall come out of Zion a deliverer, and shall turn away the ungodliness from Jacob, which Jacob is Israel. It says, and this is my covenant unto them when I shall take away their sins. All right, which is Jeremiah 31 and 31. You know, and also Matthew chapter 1 verse 21. You know, when Yahweh Shai came here for this to cleanse the Israelites, his people, of their sins. You know, but this is the point I was trying to make right here in 28. As concerning the gospel, they are enemies for your sakes. All right. 2/3 of our people are enemies for the sakes of the elect. But as touching the election, all right, so you have an elect inside of an elect, because there's an election of a nation, which is Israel, and inside of Israel you have an elected amount of people, 144,000, that are kings. All right, co-heirs to the throne with Yahweh Shai. It says, but as touching the election, they are beloved for the Father's sakes. You see, because the Father loves all Israel, you know? But that doesn't mean that he's going to keep winking at all the iniquities that you're doing, man. You know? That's why when Yahushua, you know, when that woman was caught in an unrighteous act, you know, and the people wanted Yahushua to stone her. So Yahushua told the people, you know, the one that's without sin, cast the first stone. So everybody being convicted in their consciousness, all right, being convicted within themselves, they all walked away. And Yahushua asked the woman, has nobody, you know, accused you? Have none of your accusers, you know, basically did anything about it? And she said, none, Lord. And Yahushua said, me either. And he forgave her for her sins. But that wasn't it. That wasn't all of it. Because then Yahushua said, go and sin no more. You know, which sin is a transgression of the law. You see? So if that woman went back after she was cleansed, if that woman went back and she kept going in wickedness, then guess what? She wasn't cleansed anymore. You see? People think that, oh, because I accepted the Lord and I'm clean forever. That's not how it goes, man. You know? What was I trying to get? Let me go to Revelations. You know, because we're talking about hell being cleansed and Israelites. So it says Revelations 20:11, and I saw a great white throne, and him that sat on it, from whose face the earth and the heaven fled away, and there was found no place for them. All right, because before the face of the Most High, the earth is going to be destroyed and the heavens are going to be destroyed. All right, almost to the point of no existence, man. But we know, according to the scriptures, the earth abideth forever. All right, so the earth is going to remain, but the kingdom and every work that has been worked on the earth is going to be decimated, destroyed, desolate. All right, it's going to be done away with. It says, and I saw the dead, small and great, stand before the Most High, and the books were opened, and another book was opened, which is the book of life. And the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the books according to their works. You see, so everybody's going to be judged, man. You know, I heard Nate from IUIC saying that all Israel is going to be saved. Everybody's going to be saved that is an Israelite. You're going to be saved no matter what. At the end, everybody's going to repent and everybody's going to be saved. But that's not what scripture says, man. It says according to your works, you're going to be judged. So if you did righteous works, and like it says in the book of Isaiah, if you were righteous and you turned away from that, or I believe the book of Ezekiel, all right, all of that you did and you turned your back on, it's going to be forgotten. All right, it's going to be forgotten. It's going to be as if you didn't even do it. That's why it's important for you to continue, even though you're going through, you know, a high time low, you know, your lowest point. You have to continue and endure until the very end, man. You know, it says, verse 13, and the sea gave up the dead which were in it, and death and hell delivered up the dead which were in them. All right. So death and hell delivered up them that were in them, which is what? This condition, all right? What we're going through, captivity, you know, race wars that is coming up. Those are all hellish conditions, man. You know, death and hell, everything is going to be delivered, man. And at the end, death and hell are going to be casted into the lake of fire, you know? Which doesn't mean hell is going to be thrown, all right? Death and hell is going to be thrown into hell. You know, that's not what that's talking about. Because never does it mention somebody ruling, in a hell, ruling in the lake of fire. That just goes to show how little Christians know when they bring out this little red monster saying that he rules over hell. But then hell is going to be thrown inside of the lake of fire, which is hell. How the hell is he going to move from hell to hell? That doesn't make sense. Hell represents the ground, man. So let me get that word hell. Where is it? Reading the books. 13. C gave up the dead, which we can't. And death and hell delivered. It says, and death and hell delivered up the dead. All right. Death and hell delivered up the dead. All right. Hell meaning the ground. Death meaning the people that were killed, the people that had passed away. All right. So it says, gave up the dead. Hell, which is Hades, which goes back to a Greek god, a Greek term. That's where the confusion comes in. It says, name Hades or Pluto, the god of the lower region, the netherworld, the realm of the dead. Where do the dead people abide, man? Just simple like that. Where do the dead people abide? The abode of the dead. Where? The pit, the ground. All right? That's what when it says that Yahushua conquered hell, it's not talking about, all right, when Christians say Yahushua conquered hell, it's not talking about Yahushua going all the way down, all right, into the center of the earth. Like that movie Journey to the Center of the Earth. That wasn't Yahushua, man. He didn't go to a journey to the center of the earth, into Agartha, whatever the fuck they want to call it. And then he went over there and he claimed himself the king. And then he came back up. And then he rose back up. That's not what that's talking about, man. Hell and death is the same thing. All right? When you see hell, you're seeing death, man. All right? When you go to the grave in a dead state, all right, when the body is not animated by the soul, by the spirit, then guess what? You're dead. You're a dead body. All right? It says, later use of this word, the grave, death, hell. You see, it's the same thing. The grave, the death, hell, it's talking about the same thing, man. When you go bury a person, you don't bury a person because you know he's alive. All right? You don't get a group of people to go bury a man that you think is alive. You bury him because he passed away. So the grave, death, and hell are the same thing. So when your children are not going to see hell, like it says in 2nd Esdras, your children shall not see hell. It's talking about the Israelites are not going to die in the kingdom of heaven. All right? The kingdom of Jerusalem, New Jerusalem, which is going to be here on earth. Israelites are not going to die anymore, man. We're not going to cry anymore. The Most High is going to wipe our tears away. The Most High is going to have us living lavishly and deliciously and righteously and beautifully. There's going to be no more wickedness, man. And that's part of the promise. But it's only given to Israel. These other nations, they're not going to see everlasting life. You imagine how it's going to be like for these other nations? They're going to see, the same king over and over and over and over and over and over. My great-great-great-great-great-granddad said that this man had been alive and looked this good since he was alive. They're going to know who the power is. Yahweh, the Most High. Yahushua, his only begotten son. And then the sons of Israel, man. They're going to know that the Most High stands for us. You see? So that word hell there doesn't mean some underground abode of spirits All right, because it never says that. It never says that the underground is the abode of spirits. All right, the underground is the abode of the dead bodies, unanimated. Because the spirit, the soul, goes back up to the Father. You know? What is that scripture? Was it in Proverbs? Who knoweth the spirit of man that goeth up, and the spirit of a beast or animal that cometh down? Let me see if I can find it. You know, I'm in traffic right now. Just to prove it. Look, and then down here in the King James Version translator count, which is 11 times has the word hell been used in the Greek New Testament. All right, and it says 10 times it just says hell. One time it says grave. All right, which is the pit, which is the same word that is used, so it means the same exact thing. Go to hell means you're wishing somebody to go to death. You're wishing death upon somebody. You see? So it says, let me see if I can find that one that I was talking about. How did it go? You know, with the spirit of man. Spirit of man. Proverbs 20. Under the belly. Oh, it's Ecclesiastes 3 and 21. It says, who knoweth the spirit of man that goeth upward? All right, the spirit of a man that goeth upward. Why? Because when we die, our spirit goes up, and the spirit of the beast that goeth downward to the earth. Why? Because these animals also have spirits. You know, these animals also have spirits, man. So you have some churches, some Christian churches that teach that animals don't have spirits, that they don't have souls, you know, which is a lie. Just goes to show how much they know. All right, who knows the spirit of a man that goeth up? You can't see when the spirit of a man that goes up, man. You know, you can't see it, and you can't see when the spirit of an animal comes down, but it does. You know. But anyways, coming back to Revelations 20, and where'd I leave off? 12, Revelations 20 and 12. And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before the Most High, and the books were opened. And another book was opened, which is the book of life. And the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the books according to their works. All right. So that's why it said, and the dead were judged. You see, it doesn't say in the, you know, the evil souls of hell. You know, it doesn't say any of that, man. These Christians like to add on to the scriptures. You know. Let me see. And the sea gave up the dead which were in it, and death and hell delivered up the dead which were in them. All right, which were in them, which is what? The ground, the earth. What is that scripture? The earth. He talking about Esau. He increases his what's that word? He increases his desire as hell. Let me see. Habakkuk 2:5. Yea, also, because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth he at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell. All right. Now, how can hell enlarge itself if it's under the earth? It can't enlarge itself. It's already that big, right? So how does hell enlarge itself? Because it's talking about the grave. You have 7 billion people in this earth. All right. And you've had millions and millions of people that have passed away. Billions and billions of people that have passed away in the past. All right. From the first person to die, which was Abel, because Cain slew him. From the first person, even unto now, all right, even unto that time when the last person dies, the earth is just enlarging itself, man. The graves, you can dig up bodies and bodies and bodies, and it seems like the earth is just big enough to fit every single person in this earth 10 times over. You know, but it was designed that way. That's why it says he enlargeth his desire as hell, man. Because that's what Esau Edom wants. Esau Edom wants to have everything. He wants all the power. You know, just to prove the point of hell. So let me go into the Hebrew of hell, which should be Sheol. Wine, he is a proud, neither keepeth he at home, who enlarges his desire as hell. Sha'ala or Sha'al, underworld, the grave, the grave, hell, and the pit, the underworld. All right, what's under the world? Graves, bodies. All right, dead bodies. You know, it says Old Testament designated for the abode of the dead. You see, that's what I mentioned earlier. What is the abode of the dead? Those aren't spirits. Spirits are living. All right, the spirits are living. Christians say that the people that go to hell are living spirits that feel the torture of the Most High in hell. All right, he makes everybody feel that torture when they go to hell. But yet he is not the God of the dead. All right, he's the God of the living. Why? Because the spirits are living things. You know, spirit is life. They're living things. The soul, that's what animates the body. So if it's the abode of the dead, it's literally talking about the grave. All right, you have graveyards everywhere, man. You know, it says place of no return. You can't come back from the grave, man. You know, that's death. It says wicked sent there for punishment, which is off. All right, everybody's sent there, man. Which actually, you know, in a sense, it could be true, because everybody that has ever committed any iniquities or has ever sinned has gone to the grave. You know, because Yahushua in his past, all right, he had to pay for his past life. The Lord, which was Solomon. Solomon never saw, you know, any whipping. Solomon didn't see any hurt for going off against the Most High. You know, he saw that through Yahushua. And Yahushua also did it for us. You know, so it says righteous, not abandoned to it. Why? Because in the end, all right, when that time comes, when Yahushua comes back, the righteous are not going to see death. You know, because they're going to be established in this faith. They're going to be saved. And then after that, the elect that died in this world, that were killed off in this world, all right, which I'm talking about the house of Israel, they're going to come back to the seed line of the elect of Israel, and they're going to be living forever. You know, they're gonna live forever. So let me get I was gonna try and do separate videos, but Salakia, this video is too long. But try to move according to the Spirit. I'm gonna go back to Ezekiel 3 and 20, and it says, Ezekiel 3 and 20, again, when a righteous man doth turn from his righteousness, all right, again, when a righteous man doth turn from his righteousness and commit iniquity, and I lay a stumbling block before him, he shall die, because thou hast not given him warning. He shall die in his sin. And what is sin? Sin is the transgression of the law. So let me get John, 1 John. Chapter 3 and verse 2. Beloved, now are we the sons of the Most High, and it doth not yet appear what we shall be, but we know that we shall appear, but when he shall appear, we shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is. And every man that hath this hope in him purifieth himself, even as he is pure. All right. Now, why was Yahweh Shai pure? Because he kept the law, statutes, and commandments. All right. So if you believe in Yahweh Shai, guess what you're going to do? You're going to try and keep the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of your ability to purify yourself, even as Yahweh Shai is pure, through the faith that you have. But it says, verse 4, whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law, for sin is the transgression of the law. You see? So back in Ezekiel 3 and 20, he shall die in his sin, and his righteousness which he hath done shall not be remembered, but his blood will I require at thine hand. You see? Verse 21, nevertheless, if thou warn the righteous man, Salakia, damn car's too shaky. It says, nevertheless, if thou warn the righteous man, and the righteous sin not, and he doth not sin, he shall surely live, because he is warned. Also thou hast delivered thy soul. All right. So the Most High, even if you're not trying to talk about it, if you're trying to just mind your own business, the Most High is gonna make it to where you're gonna have to reveal it. That's just how the Most High operates, man. He works in the kingdom of men. So let me end it with this one. Deuteronomy 33:26. There is none like unto the God of Jeshurun. All right? Which that word Jeshurun is Yasharawan, which means upright one. All right? Which is the ideal way of Israel to be. Upright. Who rideth upon the heaven in thine help, and in his excellency on the sky, which is the so-called UFOs, the chariots of Israel. It says, the eternal God is thy refuge, and underneath are the everlasting arms. All right, so the Most High, and then you have the children of Israel. And he shall thrust out the enemy from before thee, and shall say, destroy them. Because those that are hunters, fishers of men, are soon going to become hunters of men. All right? Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. So it says, Israel then shall dwell in safety alone. The fountain of Jacob shall be upon the land of corn and wine. Also his heaven shall drop down dew. Happy art thou, O Israel. All right? It didn't say any other nation. It said Israel. Who is like unto thee, O people saved by Yahweh, the shield of thy help, And who is the sword of thy excellency? And thine enemies shall be found liars unto thee, and thou shalt tread upon their high places. Why? Because it's a prophecy in Psalms chapter 2 that the Most High says to Yahushua, I will make thy enemies thy footstool. All right? Ask me of the heathen for thine inheritance, and I shall give it thee. You know, because these heathen, these other nations, are going to be under Israel. You know? So the Most High is going to save the elect of Israel, which is talking about a remnant. You know? Where was that? Oh, man. Where was that at? The remnant. Was it in Revelations? Can't remember if I already read it or not. Let me see. 15. Let me go back over here and actually let me finish up. This is Revelations 20 and 12. It says, and I saw the dead, small and great, standing before the Most High, and the books were open, and another book was open, which is the book of life. And the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the books according to their works. And the sea gave up the dead which were in it, and death and hell delivered up the dead which were in them, and they were judged every man according to his works. And death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death. All right, because that lake of fire is talking about the ICBM missiles. It says, and whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire. All right, so that's talking about when if you weren't found written, all right, in the book of life, you're going to be caught up in the midst of World War III, seeing destruction before your eyes. All right, you're going to see, you know, the ICBM missiles, the ICBMs, you know, you're going to see them blow off in front of you, man. And it's going to be a terrible thing, you know. But let me go back to that word remnant. I think it was in Isaiah 10, actually. 15. Body and the rest of the flesh shall have you. Okay, yeah. Isaiah 10 and 20. And it shall come to pass in that day that the remnant of Israel and such as are escaped of the house of Jacob shall no more again stay upon him that smote them, but shall stay upon Yahweh, the Holy One of Israel, in truth. You see? And that word remnant is talking about a little bit. It'll clarify it in the next verses. It says, the remnant shall return, even the remnant of Jacob, unto the mighty God, which is the Most High. For though thy people Israel be as the sand of the sea, all right, that means that they are. That doesn't mean that they're going to be. It means that they are like the sand of the sea. All right, that means we'll multiply. You know, we increase in numbers. For though thy people Israel be as the sand of the sea, yet a remnant of them shall return. All right, the consumption decreed shall overflow the righteousness. You know, so that remnant, let's go into that word remnant and see what that means. For though thy people Israel be as the sand of the sea, yet a remnant of them shall return. Sha'ar, all right, sha'ar, rest, a residue, a remnant, a remainder, all right. So a residue, man, a small number, you know. A small number shall return. Same thing in Zechariah 13, I believe it was. You know, there's a remnant, and that remnant is the elect, like Revelations talks about. You know, that remnant is talking about the elect and the multitude that follows. You know, verse 23: for the Lord Yahweh of hosts shall make a consumption, even determined, in the midst of all the land. All right, so there's going to be destruction, famine, death, hell conditions, you know. And again, that hell is talking about either hell what's it called? A condition. All right, a hellish condition, or it's talking about your death. So the Most High is gonna bring hell upon these heathen, man, and 2/3 of our people. All right. So to the remnant, I say shalom, peace and blessings, and as always, giving all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakak Wadash. Double honors to our apostles and our elders of Great Millstone. I hope this was edifying. So to the next time, I say shalom.